Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And welcome, welcome one and welcome all. How is everybody today? Are you all feeling well? Is everything okay in your house? Are all the family having fun? Yes? Well, that's great. We're here in the studio and we, that's me and the crew, are all having fun too. So, are you ready to get started on this, the second day of week 49? Yes? Well, in that case, tell Gusti to stop the mad chicken dance and settle down. Tell Margot to move her tail out of the way. We can't see the screen. And tell Nigel, good old lovable Nigel, tell Nige to stop the sound pollution for the next 15 minutes. Okay? All done? Animal instructions delivered? Animals all quiet, calm and ready? Good. And what about you lot? You lot out there. Have you all got a cup of coffee or tea? Or perhaps an iced coffee or a cold cup of fruit tea? Well, it's not really important what you've got to drink. Coffee, tea, frappuccino, a litre of Georgian vodka. Well, maybe it's a bit early for a litre of Georgian vodka, but it's your call. I'm not going to tell you what to drink and what not to drink. So, we're ready. The animals are also ready. And you've got a nice drink by your side. Right then, what are we waiting for? We're not waiting for anything. We're ready to go. Ready, steady, go! All right, here we are, and as promised, we're going to have a quick look at how we agree with statements. But this time, we're not looking at how to agree with positive statements. This time, we're looking at how to agree with negative statements. Now, we saw this, or at least we saw the introduction to this a few weeks ago, didn't we? Yes. We learned that when we want to show that we agree with something, we use to and either. If we want to show that we agree with a positive verb, then we use to. I like bananas. He likes bananas too. I'm going to Somalia for my summer holiday. They're going to Somalia for their summer holiday too. Okay, so we all remember that, and we all remember that when we use to show agreement, it goes at the end of the sentence. As you can see in the examples, when we make the sentence showing agreement, we have to conjugate the verb. In the first sentence, the subject is I, but in the sentence showing agreement, the subject is the third person singular, he, which means that we have to change the verb from like to likes. Like adds an S in the third person singular in the present simple tense. And in the second example sentence, we can see that we also have to be careful with possessive articles. In the original sentence, we were using the first person singular, which means that we used my as the possessive article. But in the agreeing sentence, we used a different subject, a plural subject, which means that we have to change the possessive article to the plural there. Now, when we first looked at to, we also learned how we can agree with a verb in the negative, didn't we? When the verb is in the negative, we use either, not to, at the end of the sentence. I'm not happy with my new job. She's not happy with her new job either. I won't sell my old car this year. We won't sell our old car this year either. Now, once again, with those examples, we can see that we have to conjugate the verb correctly. In the first sentence, with the first person singular, it's I am, I'm. In the agreeing sentence, it's the third person singular, she. So it's she is, she's. In the second sentence, again, we have to be careful with the possessive articles. In the first sentence, it's my. And in the agreeing sentence, the possessive article has to change to the plural, our. Now, after we looked at to and either, we looked at the shorter version, didn't we? Yes, that's right. We looked at using so plus auxiliary verb plus subject to show agreement with statements with verbs in the positive. And now it's time to look at how we can show agreement with statements with verbs in the negative. Now, this is very simple. We do exactly the same as we do with a positive, but when we want to say that a negative sentence is true for me as well, when we want to show agreement with a sentence where the verb is in the negative, we don't use so, we use neither. That's all. That's it. It's not rocket science. When we want to agree with a statement where the verb is in the positive, we use so plus auxiliary verb plus subject. When we want to agree with a statement where the verb is in the negative, we use neither plus auxiliary verb plus subject. Simple. Billy likes pizza. So does Trudy. Trudy hates spaghetti. So does Ailey. Wayne Riley doesn't live in Alabama. Neither do I. Frank doesn't play the piano. Neither does Magda. So, as you can see, it's very simple to agree with sentences when the statement uses a negative verb. All we do is the same as we did when we agreed with a statement using a verb in the positive form. The only difference is the word we use. When we're agreeing with a positive sentence, we use the word so, followed by the auxiliary verb and the subject. When we're agreeing with a negative sentence, we use the word neither, followed by the auxiliary verb and the subject. All the rules are the same. The only difference is the word we start with. If it's a verb in the positive form, then we use so. If it's a verb in the negative form, we use neither. Okay, time for you to practice. Here are some sentences that I'd like you to agree with. Well, no, I don't want you to agree with them. I'd like you to look at the information in brackets after the sentence. Look at what the subject is, and using the subject, expand it and make a short reply which agrees with the sentence. As usual, we'll do the first one together, okay? Number 1. Archibald hates pineapple on his pizza. They. So do they. See? It's really simple, isn't it? Now, have a go at the rest of the sentences on your own. You've got the amount of time it takes for the Captain Pugwash introductory music to finish. Are you ready? Set, go! Okay, ole. So, how was that? Those were easy, weren't they? Well, to check that they were all easy, to check that you all got 100%, let's quickly run through them all together and see that you got them all right. Okay, well, we don't have to bother with number 1 because we did that one together, didn't we? So, on we go to number 2. All right. So Archibald doesn't just like banana with his muesli, he loves banana with his muesli. And so do I. Brilliant! We're agreeing with a verb in the positive. He loves. There's no not in the sentence, so the verb is positive. And we know the subject, it's the first person singular, I, which means that all we have to do is work out which auxiliary verb to use. And we know that when we use a verb in the present simple, then we use the correctly conjugated form of the verb to do in our short agreeing reply. And what's the correctly conjugated form of the verb to do for the first person singular in the present tense? Yes, that's right, I do. Which means that the answer is, so do I. Archibald loves banana with his muesli, so do I. Simple. Next. Aha! We can't go to the party next week. What a shame. And unfortunately, they can't go either. So the short answer is that neither can they. We can't go to the party next Friday, neither can they. Wonderful. And on we go. Lots of people can't go to the party, but we don't care. And why don't we care? Well, we don't care because we're having fish fingers for lunch. And no, I'm not interested in the fact that fish don't have fingers. Stop interrupting. So, we're having fish fingers for lunch, and so is she. We're having fish fingers for lunch, so is she. Simple, no? Yes. Present continuous in the original sentence, and it's positive. So that means we know that we have to use so when we want to show agreement. Good. And because it's present continuous, we know that we have to use the auxiliary verb we use to make the present continuous. We have to use the verb to be, and we have to conjugate it correctly. Which means that for this subject, she, the third person singular, we have to use is. So, we get the correct answer, so is she. Fab! Okay, what's next? Bring on, bring on! Aha, a sentence about my mother and what she likes, or rather, what she doesn't like. And the fact that we can see not means that we know that this one is negative, which means what? Yes, sir, yes, madam. That means that here, in the short agreeing part, we need neither, not so. Okay, what have you got? That's right, my mother doesn't like hot weather, and neither do we. My mother doesn't like hot weather, neither do we. Easy, on we go. Next. And it's a sentence with the verb in the negative once again. I didn't, I did not. So, the original sentence uses the past simple form of the verb to be in the negative, didn't, which means that for the short agreeing sentence, we also use the past simple. Neither did I. And why are we using the infinitive form did and not the negative form? Because of the problem of double negatives. In English, if we have a double negative, then it sounds silly. So neither is enough to tell us that the sentence is negative, which means that we don't need another negative. So we use did, not didn't. Simple. I didn't phone my dad yesterday. Neither did I. Oh, and catfish whiskers. We're out of time. French horns. Ah well, we all know the drill, don't we? We'll pick up tomorrow where we left off today. Okay? All right. Okay then. Tell the animals that they can get back to acting normally. Well, Gusty never acts particularly normal, but, well, as normal as he can manage. Okay, people, have fun for the rest of the afternoon and evening, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Relax, enjoy yourselves, and we'll finish the exercise and learn some more English tomorrow. Of course, if you can't wait until tomorrow, you know where to go, don't you? That's right, www.m5tv.hu. That's the place to go to see our old videos and all of the most important vocabulary. All right, we're done for the day, so I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later. Bye.